Now, if you pay your employees through the bank, Techlify HR gives you a couple of different options here. So let's once again open our main Fix Rated Payroll. You'll notice that you have bank exports for Republic Bank, GBTI, and Scotiabank. And what this does is that it gives you the format that you can then upload into your e-banking portal. It autofills, Techlify HR autofills the necessary data into that format. So you just download that, and let's just go ahead and save, and you can then upload this into your e-banking portal. Now we'll see this Republic Bank file is empty, and this is for a number of reasons. One is because we don't have any bank accounts for our employees, and two is because we haven't configured a bank account for the company. So to configure your company bank account, you'd go to Administration, Company Info, Bank Accounts, and we add a bank account here, right? And this bank account that we're adding here is the bank account that the money is coming out from, your company bank account from where the salaries are taken out. So let's say testing company, right? So let's just go ahead and add a testing company bank account, and let's say it's at Republic Bank, and we'll use our Lethem branch here, right? And we'll continue using our 888 account number, and your routing number will be 0283888484. Right, so we'll use that. Let's go ahead and save this. So now you have a company bank account number. The next thing you need to do is to add bank accounts for your employees. So what I'll do is I'll open Patricia and John Doe. So let's go to Pat's profile first and add a bank account for Pat. So if we go to the Pat's profile, the bank accounts tab, you'll see we have no bank accounts here. So I'll go ahead and add this. Now, one really cool thing about Techlify HR is that we have all of the banks and the branches pre-built here. So Pat is at GBTI Port Mourant because she is from Berbice, and we'll go ahead and put her bank account number in there. I'll just copy paste this account number. It's a savings account number, and I'll go ahead and hit save. All right, and then for John, go to John's profile, bank account again, and John is at Republic Bank, Camp Street. So I can see Republic Bank, Camp Street. You'll see all of the numbers and branch codes and so on are saved. I'll go ahead and save this. So now if I come back to my payroll, let me just refresh this page, and I go to Bank Exports, Republic Bank. Now hit save, and once again everything is blank here. And why is that so? That's because bank account information does not get added to the payroll. It is treated as an adjustment. So in order to get your bank account information added to the payroll, you would need to unapprove this, recalculate John's salary, recalculate Pat's salary, and you go ahead and approve this. Now the bank account processing does take a couple of seconds, so we'll give it some time. In the meanwhile, I wanted to generate back for Republic Bank, right? So you'll notice one thing here. If I go to bank exports and I'm selecting Republic Bank, Techlify HR once again asks you to select the bank. So what does this mean? We already selected Republic Bank as our export, and it's asking you once again select which banks. But in this case, we're saying, hey, we are paying from Republic Bank, and Techlify HR is asking you which bank accounts for your employees are you paying to from Republic Bank. So if you remember, we had added that John has a Republic Bank account, but Pat has a GBTI account. So this tells Techlify HR that all bank accounts, regardless of which bank our employees use, our Republic Bank account will pay over to those. So let me just go ahead and save that. And now if I open this file, we will see that we now have two rows in this Republic Bank TXT export. And you can make a little bit of sense of this data. You'll see we have one for John and one for Pat, and the banks would use the routing number or whatever it is they use to send the funds over. So this is how you go about generating a bank export. Again, we do have exports for GBTI and Scotia, same process as Republic Bank, but in this case we don't have an active Republic Bank account in our company's bank account, so we cannot generate that file. We only have a company account for Republic Bank, right? So if we had a GBTI account, it would allow us to generate that file. Now there's one other thing I wanted to cover. Some organizations would usually submit their payroll via CSV file to the bank for processing. Now, how do you do that in Techlify HR? Turns out that we can actually do that using our Paysheet. So in this case, if I go to Paysheets, you'll notice that, let me just minimize this back, I have bank account columns here, right? So I can select account number, branch code, name, routing number, and we see all of the necessary information show up here. However, this is more information than what the bank needs, because if I download this to Excel, let's just go ahead and do that, we have a file with a lot of columns in our Excel. So again, we need to remove most of the columns that we have selected here. Let's say the absent amount, basic pay, deductions, right? The employee name might be one that the bank needs. Let's just assume. And how much are we paying, how much needs to be paid over to the employee, right? So that's your payment received column. And let's just remove everything else. Now you have this information. If you download this to Excel, we'll get a simpler, smaller Excel file that now just have the columns that the bank need, and you can then use this as your CSV file to submit to the banks. Of course, you don't want to lose this format or need to recreate this format every time you come into a payroll. So what we want to do is to save a new Paysheet format. We can call this bank CSV export. I'll go ahead and save that. So when we need to review our Paysheet, we just go to our fixed rated format. We have the data we need. And if we need our bank export, we say, hey, show me the bank CSV export format, and you just download this to Excel. And this gives us the CSV that we need to submit to our bank. So those are the two ways, or the multiple ways rather, that you can generate the documents that you need to pay via your e-banking portal. And this, especially for larger organizations, would save you a lot of time instead of paying each employee individually.